What would you do if someone gave you two choices? Option one, you wait up to 2 years for surgery, you pay nothing, and you risk permanent damage to your shoulder. Or you pay somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000 out of your own pocket, have the surgery within a month, and give yourself the best chance of making full recovery. That's the decision I was forced to make. And honestly, it wasn't nearly as simple as it sounds. Once the diagnosis was confirmed, I had a decision to make. Do I wait or do I have surgery? Now, because where I live in Quebec, Canada, we have a public healthcare system. One of the greatest benefits of that system is that medically necessary surgeries are covered. So if I had to go through the public system, the operation itself wouldn't have cost me anything. The downside, I would likely have to wait anywhere from 1 to 2 years, maybe even 3, before getting into the operation room. Now, the alternative was to have the surgery privately. In my case, that means investing somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000, depending on exactly what's required once the surgeon gets inside my shoulder. Now, that's a lot of money, but for me, the bigger question wasn't, can I afford the surgery? It was, can I afford to wait? For many procedures, waiting is simply an inconvenience. For a major rotator cuff tear, waiting can permanently affect the outcome. Here's why. When a rotator cuff tendon tears completely off the bone, it no longer performs its job. Over time, the muscle attached to the tendon begins to shrink. That's called muscle atrophy. But it just doesn't stop there. As the muscle sits unused, healthy muscle fibers can gradually be replaced by fat. This is known as fatty degeneration. Once significant fatty degeneration develops, the muscle may never function the way it once did, even if the tendon is successfully repaired. Now, another major concern is tendon retraction. Now, think of a torn tendon like a stretched elastic band that suddenly releases. Over time, it can pull farther and farther away from the bone where it belongs. The longer it retracts, the more difficult it becomes for the surgeon to bring it back into its original position. In some cases, the tendon can't be repaired directly anymore. Instead, a surgical patch or graft has to be used to bridge that gap. Now, in my case, needing that patch could push the cost of the surgery towards a higher end of the 20 to 30,000 range. So while waiting might save some money up front, it could significantly reduce my chances of achieving the best possible result. Now, for me, that wasn't a gamble I was willing to take. So after weighing in all the options, I made the decision. I'm having the surgery. Fortunately, I won't have to wait very long. In less than a month, I'll be undergoing surgery with orthopedic surgeon Dr. Sébastien Simard. Now, this isn't the first time I've trusted him with one of my injuries. Back in 2012, I partially tore my tricep tendon. Dr. Simard repaired it and the outcome was excellent. He's also repaired UFC champion George St. Pierre. Now, knowing his experience and having personally experienced the quality of his work before gives me tremendous confidence going into this procedure. Now, could there be complications? Of course, no surgery is without risk. But if I have to place my shoulder in someone's hands, I honestly couldn't ask for someone I trust more. Until surgery day arrives, there's really only one thing I can do. Control what I can control. That means continuing to train. Not the way I normally would. Obviously, there are movements that I simply can't do right now, but I refuse to let the rest of my body deteriorate because one shoulder is injured. I'm still training legs and the right side of my body. I'm still walking. I'm still doing the exercises that don't aggravate the injury. I'm staying as active as I possibly can because I want to go into surgery in the best condition possible. The stronger and healthier I am beforehand, the better my chances of recovering afterwards. But I also know what's coming. Once the surgery is over, life is going to change overnight. I'll likely be wearing a sling full-time for a minimum of 8 weeks. Now, simple things that I haven't thought twice about for decades are suddenly going to become a challenge. Getting dressed, showering, preparing meals, driving, even sleeping, even putting on a t-shirt. As someone who's always been fiercely independent, I think that's going to be the hardest part. Not the surgery, not even the pain, the loss of independence, having to rely on other people for help. Now, that's something I'm not used to. Pain management is another reality I'll have to face. I'll almost certainly be prescribed opioid pain medication after surgery. I'll take them if I truly need them, but my goal is to minimize their use as much as possible. Not because pain medication is inherently bad, it is an important part after a surgery, but because medications can be highly addictive. Now, I've been fortunate that I don't have an addictive personality, but still, I want to rely on them only when necessary and transition off them as soon as appropriate. Now, this entire experience has reminded me of something. Our health is something we often take for granted. We assume our bodies will always be there for us until one day they aren't. The decisions we make today determine the options we'll have tomorrow. Right now, I'm choosing surgery because I believe it gives me the best chance of returning to the life that I love. The surgery isn't the final line, it's the starting line. So, in the next episode, I'm going to show you exactly what I can and can't do with my shoulder before surgery. You'll see the movements that cause pain, the ones that reveal just how much strength I've lost, and why this injury has affected almost every part of my daily life. So, this journey is only getting started, and from here on out, you're going to experience it with me every step of the way. Seize the day, my friend.